Doug Ducey has an amazing background. He went from graduate of Arizona State University to ASU WP Carey Hall of Fame. He worked his way through college at Hensley & Company, a local Anheuser-Busch distributorship. After a stint at Procter & Gamble, Doug helped to launch Cold Stone Creamery on his path to success. When he and his business partner sold the company in 2007, Cold Stone had grown from a local scoop shop in Tempe to nearly 1,400 locations in 50 states, and it now operates in 25 countries around the world. As state treasurer, he helped to lower our taxes. In 2012, Doug led the opposition against Proposition 204, a permanent $1 billion a year tax increase that was put on the ballot by special interest groups. Doug is currently running as a candidate for governor of the great state of Arizona. Without further ado, the ice cream man himself, Doug Ducey.
Thank you, Charles Jensen. It's great to see everybody here tonight and be here on behalf of Congressman Trent Franks, one of Arizona's finest. What a terrific crowd, and I am honored to be here as your state treasurer. You know, the song they played here was Back in Black, and I think that's apropos because I think it's important as conservatives that we remember where we were just 4 years ago as a state. We were being described as bankrupt, insolvent, and structurally broken. Fast forward 4 years later to today, we have $2.4 billion cash in our operating account, $450 million in a reserve account earning interest, and an all-time record high in our permanent land endowment trust fund. Things like that can't happen without good conservatives in government. And in many ways, I believe Arizona has led the way in terms of demonstrating how government can tighten its belt and begin to live within its means. We have no one better in our delegation at demonstrating that in Washington, D.C. than Trent Franks. You know, we kicked off this campaign for governor months ago, and Trent Franks was the first person there in the first row when we said, job number one is to kick-start this economy and to not rest until our economy is going again at full strength. When we said we're going to reform K-12 education and give parental choice and competition to improve this system. And these are things that Trent and I share in terms of values and how to keep faith with voters. And that's so important. You know, I'm all over the state talking to people in rooms of every background. And I think the one thing that everyone can agree on is that Washington, D.C. is broken. And it is conservatives like Trent Franks that will help turn the ship around. I couldn't be more proud than to have Congressman Franks endorsing my campaign, and we've worked very hard to build the broadest coalition possible, from the Congressman Trent Franks to Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker to most recently Texas Senator Ted Cruz. These are the conservative warriors at the federal level, at the state level, and in the United States Senate who are shaking things up. And you know, you get asked a lot of questions when you're running for office, and one that I hear often is, you know, are you a member of the Tea Party? You know, the first time I ever ran for public office, remember my background's been in the private sector. I used to sell ice cream. You get a lot of undeserved popularity selling ice cream. Some of that goes away when you file papers to run for public office. But what I hear is when I came in in that year of 2010, that really was the rise of the Tea Party. And what the Tea Party talked about was taxed enough already. I met a lot of good people that were new to the process in these rooms, and the rooms were overflowing. And they were disappointed that government couldn't find a way to live within its means. It couldn't find a way to balance its budget. It couldn't find a way to be accountable for what it said to its citizens. And remember, can you think back just 4 short years ago, what happened in that 2010 time frame? It was an historic takeover of the House of Representatives like the Republic has never seen. Well, 2 nights ago, I was in a room in Payson, Arizona, and it was packed, just like the room that we have here in Scottsdale, Arizona. I can feel this wind beginning to blow again, and I think it's not only time to take more seats in the House of Representatives, but it's time to take back the United States Senate. You know, I think Arizona does better when Arizona makes its own decisions, like we did on Proposition 204. Remember that? That was that $1 billion permanent sales tax. It was going to make Arizona the second highest sales tax state in the nation. But myself, along with a lot of people that are in the room here tonight, stepped forward and said, no, thank you. And on Election Day in 2012, the taxpayers won, and Proposition 204 lost in every county in this state, and last year your taxes actually went down. And that's something that Trent Franks and I are on the exact same page on. We want to begin by getting rid of any unnecessary tax or regulation. The ideal direction for our state would be to lower our income tax with the goal of driving it as close to zero as possible. There are 7 states in this nation that have no income tax. We believe that Arizona should be the best state in the nation in which to do business, and that includes a more simple and fair tax code, that includes lighter regulation, and that includes Texas-style tort reform. These are all ideas that a congressman like Trent Franks are supportive of because he believes in the 9th and 10th Amendment. He believes Washington, D.C. is trying to do too much, and in many cases, doing it poorly. So let's push these ideas and programs back to the states, and our state will be different than the state of California. That you can count on. You know, we're known for our independent streak here in Arizona, and that's a trait we expect from our governor, especially in dealing with the Obama administration. For Arizona, the Obama years have been nothing but mandates, lawsuits, and lectures. And I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit tired of it. As your governor, I'll have a very direct message for Barack Obama. Instead of focusing on our health care, our education, and our energy industry here in Arizona, how about focusing on your own spending, your own borrowing, and this nation's borders? Now, if you think I've been going on a little bit here, it's because they're giving me signs to say, stretch it out, stretch it out. And it's because we have a very special guest who is arriving. And I'm getting ready to introduce him, so I'm giving you fair warning backstage. And I have been very proud of the coalition that I've built in this governor's race, and as proud as anyone to have Congressman Trent Franks lead, because I think we both believe that you can bring back together social conservatives, and fiscal conservatives with a message that emanates from our Declaration and our Constitution and the Federalist Papers that moves our state and our country forward in the right direction. And we've tried to demonstrate that in everything that we've done. I've tried to demonstrate it here tonight. You know that early voting has started, and of course, I would be so grateful to have your vote and support. If there are questions out there, you can go to DougDucey.com, Doug Ducey on Facebook, or at Doug Ducey on Twitter, but help me spread the word.